All right, guys, what is happening? Back again today with another training session. Yesterday, as I'm recording this voiceover, it was my mixed leg day with the hamstring focus. Total session time here was an hour and 8 minutes. Pretty solid session. Felt really good. Nothing to complain about overall. Starting out here with the lying hamstring curl. 8 to 12 reps is the goal on my working sets. I'm just starting off here with some warm-ups. I should say 8 to 12 reps is the goal on my first 2 working sets. My third working set here, 15 to 20 rep goal. I think the weight stayed the same as last week, but we took rep progressions on every set. Ended up doing 135 for 12, and then 110 for 12, and then 90 for 16. So next week, the first 2 sets will go up 5 pounds. We're going to end up doing 140 and 115. Third set is going to stay the same because, again, it's in that 15 to 20 rep range. It's just kind of a light, higher rep working set. A little more volume within the set itself there. Not a whole lot to say about these this week. Again, I kind of think as we go into the bulk here, you guys are very familiar with my routine. It doesn't change a lot, so I really don't have a whole lot to say regarding the movement itself. But I will say that it's, yesterday was the 30th day, about first month of the bulk, and everything is going good. I mean, I am just feeling great. We've increased food now a number of times, but I think my training day is up to like 3440 or 3450 total calories. My rest day is around 30,000, I think, or like 2985 or something like that. So pretty significant food jumps there. Starting to move up. Starting just at that point where I finally feel full after a meal now, like comfortably full. We're not yet at that point where I'm like, oh God, I have to eat again in an hour and a half and I want to fucking puke. We're at that point now where it's like, okay, I feel full, I feel good, I'm not hungry, I can stop thinking about food and like go on with my day. Whereas like up until this point, up until maybe a few days ago, it was like, holy shit, I'm starving still, coming out of that deficit, that diet phase, it always takes a few weeks to really get into the off season, get into the growth phase and kind of get past that. But we are definitely past that now. And on top of that, we've moved PEDs up a bit. Total doses starting this week, 700 and... Sorry, I'm getting my numbers confused here. 500 mgs of test, 1,000 mgs of mast. We upped the mast a second time from 750 to 1,000. Next week, we will be upping the test. So it'll be 750 test, 1,000 mgs of mast. Insulin is still the same, 5 IU of Lantus per day. Growth hormone is still the same, 10 IU once per day in the evening. That's really it. All of that is feeling really good. And we're going to move along here in the training session into my seated leg curls. 10 to 15 rep goal here. I changed the ankle pad on this a little bit this week. If you notice, I moved my ankle pad up a little bit, almost like behind the lower calf. This felt pretty good. I think this felt a lot better for me, so I'm going to keep it like that. It's just the small changes like that honestly sometimes make a world of difference. But that felt solid. So same weight here as last week, just took some rep progressions. Again, goal is 10 to 15. I hit 110 for 16 and 110 for 13. So I think next week I'm probably still going to stick with the same weight. I know I've been kind of on this weight for a couple weeks now, taking very minor rep progressions, but I want to feel comfortable before I move the weight up. And I felt like these were a little bit more... I had a little bit more momentum in these than I would have liked this week. So next week, I'm just going to try and really slow that down and take some rep progression. See if I can't get 17, 15, first set, second set there. But we'll see. Overall, these felt good. This was a good session. No complaints here again at all. But going back to what I was talking about before with the doses, the PEDs and everything, everything is moving up. PEDs, food, training volume will be moving up soon. We're going to make some changes to my back training this week to switch out a movement and then start slowly increasing volume there as well, just to bring up my back as much as possible, because that is my weakest point right now, even more so than my hamstrings, which have improved a lot already. That's kind of where we are with that. Everything's going really good in the off season. And moving into my hack squat, 8 to 12 reps. That's the goal rep range here for both sets, just 2 sets here. Took a weight progression this week, just 10 pounds up. Went from 280 up to 290. 290 for 12 and then 290 for 11. So matched my reps from last week. I think last week I hit, actually I think last week I might have hit 12 and 10 with 280. So I think I took a weight progression here. Well, I know I did, but I think I also may have got a 1 rep progression on that second set. But either way, progressions all around here. These felt really nice. I have finally got these exactly locked in where I want them to be. They feel really good. They still fucking gas me and I hate them, but I hate them in a good way, right? Something you'll notice I'm trying to actively think about, or you may notice that I'm trying to actively think about, is not locking out my knees so hard at the top, not like fully locking my knees into place. I've mentioned it before, that's kind of been a bad habit of mine just because I have very hypermobile knees. So I tend to just shoot up and lock my knees. And for the safety side of things, I'm obviously trying to avoid that. So I'm actively kind of thinking about stopping like 95% of the way or 90% of the way or whatever, just so I can kind of keep a little bit of knee bend there and make the safety profile a little bit better here. But yeah, these felt really good. Foot positioning felt good. Knees felt good. Bracing felt really good. Everything felt great here today. No complaints with my hack squats at all, other than, again, they just gas me. This is probably one of my most improved movements overall because I've just finally locked it in. And now that I have locked it in, I'm like, I don't want to ever do a different quad movement because I know this works and I don't want to have to dial anything else in. I know the time will come where we have to switch it out, but this feels good right now. And leg extensions. That is what we have up next. 12 to 20 reps here on both sets. No weight increase this week. I did change a couple of things here. As with the leg curl machine, you'll notice on these first few reps here too, my left knee was kind of bugging me a little bit. I had to kind of tweak the positioning and fix it. But I moved the pad up on the ankles a little bit again, and that also helped here to feel a little bit better. Kind of kept me locked into the seat more a little bit because I wasn't stretching out to try and get my foot raised up as much, so it felt pretty good doing that. 100 pounds on both sets here. I think I hit 16 and 13 reps last week, and this week I hit 18 and 14, so big progression here on the reps this week. That's awesome to see whenever I hit the reps like that. The goal here, again, 12 to 20, so next week the weight will stay the same. I'm going to try and get 22 reps before progressing this weight up. So more than likely 2 more weeks of this, hopefully no more than that, but we'll see, before moving that weight up again. And then when we do move the weight up, I will probably do 5 pounds here, I think. I'm debating doing 10 just because it is a bilateral leg movement. So I might just try 10 and start from a little bit of the lower end of that rep range. But regardless, it's going to be a little while before we increase the weight. You'll also notice here that I am just really trying to stretch in the bottom a little bit better than I have been, and it's working. It felt great. These felt great. It's great when you connect with something and you realize how little weight you actually need on it to really fucking work the target muscle. And this is one of those movements. All right, so that is going to be it for the leg extensions. Moving into adductors, the movement I probably have the least to say about in this whole routine. 175 for 16 was my top set here. 135 for 14 was my back off set. The goal is 10 to 15. Probably going to keep this weight the same next week. I mean, definitely on the second set, but probably on the first set as well, even though I'm one over the high end of the range. I want to feel a little more confident in that last couple of reps in terms of the full range of motion that I'm getting there before I move that weight up. And again, I'm already pretty heavy on these, so I don't really need to crank a lot more weight on there to make them effective. I just need to make sure I'm really perfecting the movement. But yeah, these felt good. No complaints here. Thankfully, no pain or any issues with these, other than that machine sticking like it always does. But yeah, these were solid. Not a whole lot more to say about these, honestly, guys. I'm just going to let this set play out, and then we'll hop over to calf raises. Okay, and then moving into the last movement of the day here, these are seated calf raises. Nothing special here, same as always, but I did take a 10-pound weight increase on the first and second set here this week. I think last week I maybe did a drop set on these. I don't remember what my structure was last week, truthfully. I kind of forgot. But I changed the positioning on the machine here a little bit to kind of kick my the pad back over my legs a little bit further, and that actually felt pretty good. Just feels a little more comfortable for me. So 100 pounds for 21 reps, and then 100 pounds for 14 reps, and then 90 pounds for 13 reps. These felt solid. No complaints here. Yeah. So I'm probably going to stick with that same progression scheme next week. I will probably up the weight again on that top set, maybe by just 5 pounds, since I'm only one over the high end of that range. We'll see. But then second set and third set will stay the same next week. Not going to make any changes there. That's something I'm trying to kind of get in the habit of, is not just, when I increase my top set, I shouldn't increase the weight on my secondary sets either so quickly, because then I tend to fall out of the rep range a little bit on those. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I just would like to get a little more volume focused work in, specifically on my back, where I have a tendency to load a lot of weight very heavy. So I'm trying to just focus on treating each set as its own progression. So let's say I hit 100 for 22, rather than, next week, let's say I hit 100 for 22 and then 100 for 12. Let's say, next week I want to go up to 110 on the top set. Well, I'm not going to increase the 110 on the second set. I'm just going to keep it the same as what it was the previous week and try to increase the reps there, really drive that volume work up, really add some extra stimulus there. So that's what I have in mind right now, and that's what's been working. Everything is just working phenomenally. I mean, I'm sitting around 210, 211 pounds right now on day 30. So we're up about 10 pounds 30 days in, which is fucking awesome. I mean, we've got, hopefully at least 4 more months to go. And, I mean, we are just flying right along. So happy with the progress, happy with how everything's going, and happy to be giving you guys another training session. So, yeah, I will have another one uploaded tomorrow. And until then, guys, like, subscribe, comment down below, and take it easy.